downshift. You heard that? Wow. Wow. What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. You join me today out for a Sunday morning drive, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to give my first impressions on the car, the first driving impressions and what I've experienced so far. First things first, before I get into anything, actually we're about to hit national speed right here, so yeah, what was I going to say before that? Basically, does the car live up to the hype? Before I get into anything, before I start, is it as good as everyone says? Well, in my first couple of weeks of ownership so far, what I've experienced with the car, yes. The car's amazing. The way it goes around corners, the power delivery. Oh, I just can't put it into words at the moment. I've only had it a couple of weeks, but already the car is absolutely amazing. And I was a bit anxious before I got this. I mean, I'd only heard about the car in reviews. I think I watched every single review on YouTube with the 981 GT4. Nice little stop, good opportunity here. But I think I'd watched every single review with this car. 1 second. I am never going to tire of that sound, the delivery. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I've watched every single video to do with the 981 GT4, and this was because I wasn't going to get a chance to test drive the car, especially with the COVID restrictions. This has been my dream car for the last, well, one of my dream cars for the last 4 or 5 years. When I first saw it in 2015, and then like I've said, watching every single video with it. And that's the beauty of YouTube. You get a view from professional racing drivers, experienced motoring journalists, like Chris Harris on Cars, Evo Car of the Year, and then prominent YouTubers, Joe Achilles. I remember him driving this on the Fuel Faction trip, Shmee's Fuel Faction, and saying he was absolutely in love with the car, the way it handled, slow, fast, whatever the circumstances, this car handled it. It was absolutely brilliant. And from them, everybody, even your average Joe, people who just want to make YouTube videos, they've all said the same thing. And really, getting this car, part of me was thinking, is it going to be as good as people say? Is it going to live up to the hype? Yes, it does, and it has. It's just amazing. So, first of all, the first thing, power. Now, I've come from an M3, heavy German car, turbocharged, and there's a lot of power low down. You get the torque low down. The car wants to deliver the power straight away. With this, there was quite a transition to a naturally aspirated engine, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. You have to really rev the engine out. So if you don't know, I'm not going to get too much into the detail and the stats, but 385 brake horsepower, so less than my M3, and around 420 newton meters of torque. Again, less than the M3 again, but the way it delivers the power, the occasion, the experience that you have. So peak torque is around 4,400 RPM, and peak horsepower is around 7,400 RPM. Bearing in mind this red line's around 7,600, 7,700, I believe. You have to really rev this car out to experience all of that. And the experience is amazing. I knew going down in horsepower, yes, I wouldn't get that initial kick with turbos, but this is what I wanted. I wanted the experience, the occasion, the involvement with the car, the manual gearbox, and the way it delivers, just the power. Phenomenal. Amazing. And the handling, the steering is amazing. I think when I first described this to a few friends, I was basically saying this is like a big go-kart. It goes exactly where you want. The difference between this and my M3, the M3 almost dipped into corners. You felt the weight of it, it felt heavy. Yes, the handling was great, but it glides through corners. It feels so light. You feel so in control of everything the car's doing. You have full control of the steering. The steering wheel is phenomenal. It's thin. You can feel everything through it. And I'm not a great driver by any means, but this inspires confidence. The car, I haven't pushed it yet. I haven't got on a track yet. I will be going on a track soon. But miles per mile, this car is brilliant. Phenomenal. Can't even get my words out. Phenomenal. I'm making up words now. Oh boy, this car is awesome. So yeah, the gearing. Yes, second gear is long. I mean, look at it, it just keeps going and wanting more. But I fully expected that. Watching all the reviews, I knew what to expect. So when I got in, I wasn't disappointed. I knew exactly how it was going to perform, and that was something when I was buying the car, I knew that I'd have to live with, and so far it's been fine. Yes, you wish the gears were shorter so you could have more engagement and more fun, but that's something potentially I can do in the future. I know Sharkworks worked on something to a package which shortened the gear ratios, so maybe that's something I'll look into. But yeah, that's something I can do. And plus, I haven't got it on a racetrack yet, so potentially when I get it on a racetrack, it'll become obvious why the gearing's like that, and potentially I'll prefer it that way. First racetrack potentially in April, so hopefully we'll get to see how it performs. Aside from that, visibility in the cabin, forwards, front ways anyway, is brilliant. It's extremely airy out front, and you can see a hell of a lot. Now out back, the wing does sit in the middle of the screen, which I'm going to be getting risers anyway, which will take care of that. So isn't the biggest worry. The seats, super supportive, absolutely brilliant. They hug me through corners. They're so comfortable. It's 3 hours back from London up to the Midlands when I collected it. Not an issue at all. I think we're coming up to a tunnel, so before I continue, let's get some distance with the car behind. Brake. Downshift. Open the window slightly. Wow. I love this car. Absolutely love this car. And so are the brakes. So I had a tractor there I had to give way for. Let's go slow through here. But the brakes, like I said, they're phenomenal. I've only really had to experience them a couple times when I've had to really stamp on them, and they bring you to a stop so quick. They're a bit noisy when you first get into the car and you start it up because they're cold, but as soon as you get a bit of heat into them, they're brilliant. No complaints there. PCM system, so the infotainment, the module, completely fine so far. I've used it really just for music, Bluetooth. I don't really need much more. I can get CarPlay if I want. One of the things is I would like parking sensors, especially when I'm reversing. But I could get a reverse camera installed aftermarket, and I may potentially do that. But other than that, no real complaints. The PCM system's super easy to use. It is a standard Porsche system. You get a infotainment dial, if you will. next to the tachometer and the speedometer. I sometimes have the map there if I'm looking into new roads, but it's brilliant. The car's everything you want, and really I think that's a good summary so far. Oh, another thing would be sound. So sound is brilliant. So this is obviously pre-OPF, pre-filters, and once you get the exhaust opened up and that engine going, this sounds brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if anything, when you're cruising at motorway speeds, it's not so much the engine noise. You do get engine noise in the cabin, but it's more the tyre noise really that bothers you if you're going on certain road surfaces. On brand new motorways where the tarmac's just been laid, this isn't really that loud in terms of it's enjoyable. Where old tarmac, yes, the tyre noise does get quite loud, and if you're in a lower gear, yes, the engine noise can get quite loud, but again, I expected it. I knew I was going to have that, and that's one of the perks for me owning this car. You can hear everything. You can hear the engine in the cabin, the gears, shifting through the gears. They're so short, and they're it's just so easy to use. Yes, the clutch is a bit heavy when you first get into this, especially if you're coming from an automatic, but after a couple of drives, you're completely used to the clutch, and it's completely fine. So I hope you enjoyed my first impressions of the car. Just a quick summary. Didn't want to waffle on too much, no details, just what sprung to mind. Just out for a drive. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to make this video, and I do enjoy watching other people's videos of first impressions and their first look at cars, especially when you're just an average Joe like me, someone who likes cars. Just want to know their opinion, their point on cars. But yeah, expect much more content with this. First track day is almost confirmed. I just need to ring and confirm on Monday. So I should have one of those booked in for April, another in May, hopefully one a month from then on. They seem to be getting booked up quite fast now. I think everybody wants to get out on track. But yeah, in summary, I'm absolutely loving this car so far. And yeah, I hope I never have to sell this, because but yeah, if anything, I'll just leave you with this. Even at low speeds, you don't have to go all the way. This car brings so much fun. Look at it, it just handles corners and it just goes. This engine is a dream. This car is downshift and power and straight onto it. Oh. The brakes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I get the hype, I see the hype, and I'm fully in Porsche. I want another one. This car's absolutely brilliant. But that's it from me. I've been Taryn. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you haven't. See you next time.